For a long time in the fitness industry, there has been little to no consideration about how the menstrual cycle affects training. Women have been thought of as just smaller, weaker men, and training programs have been designed with this in mind. And so we've all just had to make do with what we're given. However, the phases of a menstrual cycle affect your strength, stress, recovery, and energy levels. And it's helpful to understand this so you can adapt your training as necessary throughout your cycle. There are two main phases of the menstrual cycle, the follicular and the luteal phase. The follicular phase is the time between the first day of your period and ovulation, and the luteal phase is the time between ovulation and the first day of bleeding. During the follicular phase, where your body prepares to release an egg, estrogen levels increase, and you'll also receive a higher dose of testosterone just before ovulation. This is generally when you feel faster and stronger, your coordination is better, your energy levels are higher, and your recovery is better. As a result, you'll be able to handle heavier loads and training at a higher intensity, and so it would make sense to push your training a little bit during this phase. On the other side of ovulation, during the luteal phase, estrogen drops and progesterone increases in preparation for fertilization. If the egg isn't fertilized, then progesterone will drop, which causes menstruation. During the luteal phase, you may notice that your energy will start to decrease, and as you get closer to menstruation, you may also notice a low mood, increased cravings, and poorer coordination and balance. You may find that you're not able to lift as heavy as you were able to during the follicular phase, and you may also find that you're not able to fully recover from each session. As such, it would be a good idea to lower the intensity of your training and even potentially swap out movements so that you're not being required to use as much balance and coordination. So for example, you could use a leg press instead of a barbell back squat. There's also a higher chance of dislocations during the luteal phase, and so it's important to be careful when doing movements that have a high impact or require a lot of coordination, such as jumping or Olympic weightlifting. Everyone who has a menstrual cycle will experience different symptoms to varying degrees. So you might feel fine lifting heavy during the luteal phase, whereas somebody else might feel absolutely knackered after every session and just need to be doing some really low intensity movements and really light lifting sessions. However, despite what symptoms you might experience, it's useful to understand how your cycle can impact your training. And so if something feels amazing one week and then like you're moving through molasses the week after, it's not because you have all of a sudden gotten weaker or you're not making progress. It could be related to where you're at in your cycle. Tracking your cycle alongside your training and how your training feels is a good way to auto-regulate your training and be able to get the best out of each session while also maximizing your recovery and keeping yourself healthy.